In the mid-90s, then North Korean leader Kim Jong-il stated, "All wars in future years will be computer wars." Since then, North Korea's cyber army has grown in size and expertise, with many experts saying their operational skills now match those of Russia, Israel, and the US. Without further ado, here are 10 facts about the North Korean hacking program, including some of their greatest hits. Number 10. WannaCry. On May 12, 2017, a computer in Asia was infected with a virus that locked the screen and displayed a chilling message. Users were instructed to send $300 in Bitcoin in 3 days. If not, your files were lost forever. This North Korean virus was a type of ransomware that took advantage of a loophole first discovered by the NSA. Within a day, it spread to 230,000 computers in over 50 countries. In the UK, the virus crippled the National Health Service, knocking critical infrastructure offline. Buses, ATMs, and subway systems were also affected. But in many ways, the virus was not considered one of North Korea's best, as they only collected roughly 150,000 from the victims. In contrast, a popular malware kit called Angler earned those hackers $60 million before being shut down in 2015. Number 9. Operations Plan 5015. In September of 2016, North Korean hackers successfully accessed South Korea's defense database, downloading more than 235 gigabytes of classified material. One of those documents was titled Operations Plan 5015, and the plan outlined what's called a decapitation strike. The idea was to take out Kim Jong-un and other top officials in a quick first strike attack. Many experts say the reason for that is because Kim Jong-un has more than a few tricks up his sleeve, including 80 secret war tunnels that lead right into South Korea, large enough to send 30,000 troops per hour into the south. Some of these tunnels boast sleeping areas, a railway, and enough space to move tanks. Either way, after the hack, US officials publicly stated that Operations Plan 5015 is no longer part of the strategy. Perhaps Kim Jong-un can sleep easier at night. Number 8. The Sony Hack. One of North Korea's most infamous attacks started around 7 a.m. on the Monday before Thanksgiving. Employees logging in were greeted to the sound of gunfire on their computer screens and a fiery skeleton hovering over the heads of the studio's 2 top executives. Before the fumbling IT department knew what had hit them, the North Koreans had infected nearly half of the company's servers worldwide. But before destroying Sony's data, they made sure to copy it. They put everything from unfinished movie scripts to more than 47,000 social security numbers online. One of my personal fave releases is the overall budget for The Interview, starring Seth Rogen and James Franco. It included $241 for a table of weed, coke, pills, and panties, as well as $74,000 for 2 tigers, their handlers, and, of course, special tiger accommodations. Number 7. Hackathon Champs. In recent years, North Korean hackers began to travel overseas to learn techniques and match their skills against other high-level operators. But getting on the North Korean varsity squad isn't easy. To determine who gets to travel, North Korea holds an annual hackathon where participants must solve complex riddles and hacking problems under extreme duress. But if you succeed, the perks are significant. Hacker trainees get spacious Pyongyang apartments and, even better, an exemption from military service. One of the most prestigious competitions is Code Chef, which is basically like the Super Bowl just for hacking. So how did the North Koreans perform? Well, in 2015, North Korean teams ranked 1st, 2nd, and 3rd out of more than 7,600 worldwide. And 3 of the top 15 coders in Code Chef's network are North Korean. Number 6. The infrastructure. North Korea's hacking operation consists of approximately 7,000 hackers divided across 3 teams. The varsity team is known as the Lazarus Group, and they primarily target banks and other financial institutions. With tightening sanctions, finding ways to steal hard currency is of paramount concern to the regime. Most of the high-profile attacks like Sony and WannaCry originated from this unit. The B team is known as Reaper. Reaper focuses mainly on South Korea and is extremely prolific, responsible for an estimated 1.5 million hacking attempts daily. The C Team are the grunts, who send out targeted email attacks and phishing scams that are considered low-level hacks. But even the C Team has been getting creative recently, using the spirit of Jesus Christ to inject phones with malware via a popular Korean Bible app. Number 5. Watering holes. A lot of people assume if you don't click on a suspect email, you're pretty safe from infection. Well, think again. A new type of malware has been developed by North Korea called a watering hole attack. Here's how it works. Basically, the hackers poison a website frequented by a group or organization they want to target. Whenever someone from the group visits that website, the malware is placed on their computer and begins to spread in the organization. Facebook, Twitter, Microsoft, Apple, they've all fallen victim. And these watering hole attacks can even be launched on a poison Wi-Fi spot. The only way for companies to avoid getting hacked is to keep track of your employees with access to critical infrastructure and monitor those top sites for malicious code. So next time you're at the airport, maybe think twice before logging onto that public Wi-Fi. Number 4. The Bangladesh Heist. In February 2016, North Korean hackers tried to pull off the biggest bank heist in history. After spending weeks inside of the bank's computer systems casing the joint, they finally made their move, attempting to withdraw $1 billion from the Bangladesh Central Bank via their holdings at the New York Federal Reserve. 5 transactions worth $101 million were completed before the Federal Reserve Bank blocked the remaining transactions. It was only because of a few misspellings on recipient names, otherwise the damage could have been far, far worse. Computer security experts describe the heist as technically sophisticated, and one that cemented Pyongyang as one of the world's most capable and daring actors in cyberspace. Number 3. The Bitcoin hacks. As anyone who owns Bitcoin can tell you, the value of these digital coins is constantly fluctuating. But for North Korea, these cryptocurrencies are an area of extreme interest. In December of 2017, North Korea hacked the cryptocurrency exchange Ubit, causing the company to declare bankruptcy. Just 1 month later, they targeted CoinCheck, and this time they made away with $530 million. But last year, they stepped it up a notch. North Korean hackers began creating fictitious Facebook profiles, posing as beautiful women who were interested in learning more about the cryptocurrency industry. They started reaching out to men who worked at exchanges and banks. The hackers lured the men into opening Word documents that flooded their systems with malware. So if you're a guy working at a cryptocurrency exchange and suddenly start getting a lot of attention from attractive women, you might want to think twice before responding. Number 2. 0 days. The gold standard in the hacking community are vulnerabilities that have yet to be discovered. They are called 0-day exploits. Late last year, North Korea found a previously unknown weakness in Adobe Flash. In November of 2017, it started popping up around the world. Using dog call malware, the North Koreans were able to monitor the keystrokes, take screenshots, and remotely surveil anyone who had clicked on those files. But what's most impressive about the North Koreans is their adaptability. Soon after, Adobe released a patch in February 2018 addressing the security issues. But just a few weeks later, North Koreans released a new version of their hack and were successfully able to gain access to a major Turkish bank. But these are only the hacks we know about. Is it possible that North Koreans hackers were responsible for one of the biggest false alarms in US history? Number 1. Hawaiian Missile Alert. On January 13, 2018, a false ballistic missile alert was issued via the emergency broadcast system of Hawaii. The alert stated there was an incoming ballistic missile and advised residents to seek shelter immediately. But is it possible that North Korean hackers were actually responsible? Consider that very week President Trump and Kim Jong-un were engaged in a heated war of words over North Korea's recent missile tests, and that the FBI had issued an alert just 2 months earlier about a new North Korean cyber tool designed to penetrate critical infrastructure like the emergency broadcast system. Just 1 week later, the Japanese also issued an inbound missile alert, only to retract it as a false alarm. What are the chances that two adversaries of North Korea would both issue false missile alerts within 1 week of one another? And if North Korea can hack our emergency broadcast system, what next? It's certainly time to acknowledge the strides the Hermit Kingdom has made in the area of cyber warfare. While the US, Russia, and Israel continue to be top dog in offensive and defensive capabilities, there's no question North Korea deserves recognition and respect for their operational prowess and daring criminal exploits. If you enjoyed this list, subscribe to Decagon and join our growing community.